Sing something for Gurudev's pleasure. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj said, nothing amazes me except that they're chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra in China. We have so many Chinese ladies in our mission, but not so many men. And I think Gurudev would really like seeing you chant and singing his arati and glories. So Krishna Keshava Prabhu, please chant any song that you like. And we have no rules on Thursday. You can sing evening tunes, any song that you might like to sing. Sure.
Nitai pada kamala koti chandra sushitala. Nitai pada kamala koti chandra sushitala. Nichayaya jagata judaya.
any songs?
Not really.
Okay.
Pretty little.
Okay. So someone was recently asking, who is my partner in crime?
Honored.
Some burning question came. Who is your partner in crime? Here she is. This is Yuvati Devi Dasi. Actually, I'm more criminal, and she's more the facilitator and just makes crime more fun. You make committing crimes fun. Yeah. Please sing something for us.
Very kind, Bhakti. Thank you. Okay, then. Avatar Sara?
Sure. What page?
117? 117?
Oh, that's in the Russian book,
Oh,
sorry. English book, 136.
Avatar Sara Gauravatara.
Avatar Sara Gauravatara. Avatar Sara Gauravatara.
Ki jai.
Jai Shri Lakshmidas.
Enakshi, do you want to sing something? Choose a song. Maybe Sharanagati, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. 58. 58. No, 58.
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jiva
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jiva Doya Kari Sing Sarvasva Tomar in English 191. Sarvasva Tomara Charane Sapia Bodhicitta Mara Ghore
Sarvasva Tomara Charane Sapia Bodhicitta Mara Ghore
Sarvasva Tomara Charane Sapia Bodhicitta Mara Ghore Tomara kukur bolia chana hamare Bhakti Lalita amara palide Bhakti Lalita amara palide Ashise najibo Rakibo godera pare Rakibo godera pare Hapani chajan kashadu sevia Uchista rakhi baja Amaro bojana paramahanante Amaro bojana paramahanante Pratidina hobeta Nikate jaibo Lokona dakibo to me taking all that I possess and surrendering it unto your lotus feet, O Lord, I throw myself down before your house. You are the master of the house. Kindly consider me your own dog. Chaining me nearby, you will maintain me, and I shall lie at your doorstep. I will not allow your enemies to enter, but will keep them outside the bounds of the surrounding moat. Whatever food remnants your devotees leave behind after honoring your prasad will be my daily sustenance. I will feast on those remnants in great bliss. While sitting up or lying down, I will constantly meditate on your lotus feet. Whenever you call me, I will immediately run to you and dance in rapture. I will never even think about arranging for my own nourishment and will remain absorbed in ever-cherishing love for my master. Bhaktivinoda now accepts you as his only maintainer. Jai. Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Okay, Sula Mahamantra. Or, brother, go ahead. 299 in English.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Prabhupada, Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar Kirtan Hari-katha ki jai, Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakshidhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Gaur Premanande.
Hari Bolo. Jai Shri Bhakti Lalita Devi.
Jai. We are very blessed to have some special guests visiting us this week. We have Krishna Keshava Prabhu and his mom, Tulsi Maharani, and Enakshi Didi. They're all coming from India. We're very conveniently located next door to India. We get all the pilgrims, usually after their parikramas and celebrations, coming to visit us on their way home. And we just came from celebrating Gaur Purnima with Srila Bhakti Prapana Tirtha Maharaj and going on parikrama. And I'll just give a little introduction for who may not know you. I think a lot of devotees do know you from your scientific preaching with Srila Bhakti Madhav Puri Maharaj. Both Tulsi Maharani and Krishna Keshava Prabhu have been serving and assisting Shripad Bhakti Madhav Puri Maharaj, PhD, our scientist Maharaj, who's been spent his whole life serving Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and our Param Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakshidhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, and our Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, starting with the Bhaktivedanta Institute, and then the name from the Mat, which...
SCS at the end.
Oh, the Bhaktivedanta Institute, SCS Mat.
BVI SCS stands for Bhaktivedanta Institute of Spiritual Culture and Science, but it was with the thought of Sri Chaitanya. So
okay, wow. So both Krishna Keshava Prabhu and his mother Tulsi Maharani have been assisting Madhav Puri Maharaj, who's my dear uncle and worshipable friend throughout the years. I got to spend some time with Maharaj, visiting when he came to visit us in California. And I knew him throughout all my time with Gurudev as his secretary, responding to Madhav Puri Maharaj's. He would send donations to the Mat throughout the years, and so I would always correspond with him. But he was a very special gem who had specialized understanding and knowledge of the scientific world. He was a scientist himself, like a quantum physicist or something.
Yeah, his PhD was in quantum chemistry.
Quantum chemistry. And his specialty was the scientific preaching field. And Krishna Keshava Prabhu was his assistant and follower, and lived with him the last 7-8 years of his life on this earth.
Yes, about six years, 10 months.
Yeah, 6 years, 10 months. And you had the Princeton preaching program. Does that continue?
Definitely continues.
Yeah.
We have traditional kirtan and prasadam distribution in Princeton, New Jersey, and that has been going on since he opened the first office at 20 Nassau Street, which was right across the street from the university. And there's always a funny story when it opened. It was on the 116th appearance day of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and he had Suite 116, and it was raining. So it was a very auspicious sign for the starting of the preaching in Princeton. And over the years, there were handfuls of students, not en masse, but throughout the years, there were many serious students from the university and science fields who would come. And even I reconnected with one of them after Maharaj's disappearance, and he became like a real successful entrepreneur in like Silicon Valley, and he wrote a nice review on one of our pages, remembering Maharaj and what he learned from him and how he could tie science and Krishna consciousness and some appreciation he had for that. And so that was really nice, And Maharaj's focus was always on the philosophy of science. So to get scientists to think about how consciousness affects what they're saying about the natural world. It's not just a static external world independent of our consciousness of it. Our consciousness of the world directly affects the world itself and how we experience the world. And he would often quote this aphorism from the Vedas, Atmavan Manyate Jagat, which basically says that. Atma is there, right? Atma, Atmavan, Manas, and then Jagat, the world.
Mind, Manas.
Manas is mind, Atma means is soul, and Jagat is world. So Atmavan Manyate Jagat means our experience of the world, or the world that we live in, is determined by our consciousness of it, or the way we think about it. And that's, Krishna consciousness, right? Here we are in a world that is material, full of exploitation, and just by changing our practices and the way we conceive who is the proprietor of all of our actions in the world around us, all of a sudden we find ourselves living in a completely different environment, right? Filled with wonderful devotees and prasadam and less material suffering and like that. So that theme goes deep into cultural evolution, like how people think about the environment and how they think about a lot of things. So we're trying to unpack that. Maharaj himself, while he was here, focused a lot on the technical, philosophical aspects of how Vedanta and Hegel are complementary to each other, building off of what Srila Sridhar Maharaj first established himself as recorded in Subjective Evolution of Consciousness. And we found even more like this idea of the Bahiranga Shakti of Krishna, the external energy. We don't really hear about the material world talked in terms of externality anywhere except for Krishna consciousness. And then Hegel, he called nature, he was concerned with logic, nature, and spirit. Those were his three main topics of his encyclopedia. And he said that nature is spirit in its externality. And then he had a whole philosophy about why that's the case and how it develops slowly from spirit outside of itself to self-conscious spirit, spirit conscious that it is spirit. And the relationship between finite spirit, which we can think of Jiva, Atma, and then the infinite spirit, right? Paramatma or Bhagavan. So Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj focused on really getting those details out and writing about them from different angles, because Hegel's body of work is massive, and there's a lot of misunderstandings in there, so he had to do a lot of nitty-gritty work to make it accessible to somebody like me and others who are interested in looking at what he said and how it applies to these different fields that we have today in science and the humanities. And yeah, so that's right. Srila Prabhupada's idea was, as a scientist himself, right? Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada was a pharmacist, a chemist, so he was a scientist. He knew what was going on and the nonsense that was going on in the name of science. And so when he, by Krishna's divine arrangement, had this mission at his disposal, he could, and it was very much developed already, he could understand that the next phase was we have to correct what the scientific world is telling everybody else. It's as important as preaching to the Mayavadis was in Mahaprabhu's time. So he set up the Bhaktivedanta Institute as a separate institution from ISKCON itself, actually, formally. He did like that.
Together with Swarup Damodar Maharaj.
Exactly, yeah. He was the founding, technically, Srila Prabhupada himself didn't found the institute. It's understood that although he directed for it to be manifested, the founder was Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. And he dedicated his whole life and was super successful at becoming friends with so many scientists and talking to them about the contribution of Krishna consciousness in the Vedas to scientific thinking. And he was a pioneer in the field of science and religion, or as it's kind of evolved, science and spirituality, which you can find so many places around the world today talking about that topic, depending on, not that they're all a very sophisticated understanding of it, but nonetheless they're trying to talk about that topic. And he also, Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, was very much a pioneer in the interfaith dialogue sphere, and he helped even launch a few organizations about that and world peace. So he was very much empowered by Srila Prabhupada, and we hear that at the end, Srila Prabhupada said, the next phase is yours. So we always remember that as inspiration for moving forward in that kind of devotional service, the science devotional service. And then when Srila Prabhupada finished his Juhu temple, which he considered his Juhu Mumbai temple, he considered it one of his home bases basically, and it became formally the head office of all of the ISKCON temples in India, actually, in a formal way. And then so Prabhupada gave the choicest office space in that temple, which was on a balcony overlooking the Nat Mandir and the deities. He gave that to the Bhaktivedanta Institute, Sri Damodar Maharaj and Madhavadas, Madhavapuri Maharaj. And again, that was another signal to his big movement that this is very important. Try to support this in whatever way you can. So again, that's also always I'm remembering as inspiration for moving forward. And then after Srila Prabhupada left and directed his disciples, please, you can take further instruction from Srila Sridhar Maharaj. He's my Siksha Guru, what to speak of the benefit you can get. Madhavadas Brahmachari was one of the devotees who went in the 1980s to Srila Sridhar Maharaj and would eventually receive sannyas. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj's, not only his just penetrating insight about the highest conclusions of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, that helped everything, but also his own deep philosophical insights about Western philosophy, which he had so much of, and his own understanding of what scientists were doing too. So he gave the whole idea of the evolution of consciousness, subjective evolution of consciousness, and he's the one who introduced Hegel to Sripad Puri Maharaj. And he's the one who would talk about Krishna in this very unique way as the organic whole, which is such a helpful way to think about divinity that's really not presented in like any other religion. That there is a whole, it's a psycho-physical whole, it's not just physical, it's also mental, and it's self-conscious, it's personality, and that we have that quality because we're a part of that whole, and our relationship to the whole is for the purposes of that whole. And in Bhagavatam there's even a shloka that tells, just like in the body, it's the same way actually. It's helpful to think of cells. Their lung cells, heart cells are all individual, just like us, but they're all supporting each other's functioning, and they're for the purpose of the whole organism. So all these ways are super helpful, concrete ways to conceive of our relationship with divinity, and to help just ground us in that. And so we're trying to really develop that as much as possible, and to show how it's relevant to different fields, like I said before, in the sciences and humanities, and trying to inspire by Guru and Gurunga's grace some cultural evolution in the Western world, and we feel very blessed to have the association of the devotees upon departing. Sripad Puri Maharaj told to us that we should take shelter of Srila Bhakti Prapanna Tirtha Maharaj and Srimati Bhakti Lalita Devi Dasi. So we feel very blessed to have their association and their encouragement, and we hope, we plan to give our life in this direction, to continue to give our life in this direction, and we are excited for the future.
So, Krishna Keshava Prabhu and Tulsi Maharani, they together are carrying on Sripad Bhakti Madhav Puri Maharaj's legacy. It's a kind of a loaded word. It feels probably like a huge responsibility, but you're carrying that so beautifully and naturally. You're naturally a scientific preacher, and you can grasp these concepts and share them with the world in both introductory way and like a very sophisticated, elaborate way. Whenever I meet a scientist, I just hand them Subjective Evolution of Consciousness and just read this book. But we can also pass them to you, and you're carrying on with that service. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj liked to use Hegel as a bridge, right?
Yes.
But Hegel only goes so far.
That's a fact.
He doesn't get personal, interactive, Bhagavan aspect, right?
He doesn't get into rasa. You can say he does get to Bhagavan because he recognizes that the Absolute is self-conscious, and he even uses the word personhood in places. So he has a personal conception of the divine, but as far as relational and moods of that relation, he has no clue.
Mm-hmm. He stops at that
Definitely
point.
stops, completely stops at that point. But he has, by Krishna's divine arrangement, he has an idea of the Chintya Bheda Abheda Tattva and how it trickles down into lower levels of spirit and nature, which is really interesting, right? But again, it doesn't go past
The loving
just
relationships and the personal
nothing.
Exchanges.
There's no idea
The
about that.
Supreme Person.
So also we're helping Hegel get some sukriti by using his
Yeah,
philosophy.
For sure.
One time, Sripad Puri Maharaj asked Srila Sridhar Maharaj, who is Hegel, like in a higher way? Because how can he know these things? And he asked to Sridhar Maharaj, is he Lord Brahma? And Sridhar Maharaj just laughed and said, you will know, something like that. It will be revealed to you. So I don't know anything beyond that, but he told me that. And so maybe Hegel is a manifestation of like Brahma or a higher devotee or something like that.
Yeah. And what is your approach to all the scientific conferences that are going on around the world? Do you present our literature to them and get invitations? Like I know you have an invitation to go to Rome for a scientific conference coming up
That's
this
the
year.
first one for me.
First one for you.
First one
That's a
for me.
big deal.
And
Tell us, what is that?
So to be honest, it wasn't an invitation. I saw that it was going on and I applied and they accepted it. It was a Hegel conference about how Hegel's work affects things like AI, sustainability, biology, cultural, evolution, art. And so I thought, okay, this is very nice. There's currently like a Hegelian renaissance, they call it. A lot of interest across Europe and America and Asia as well. In China, there's one fellow who's working at, I think it's called East China Normal University, and he's a big Hegelian Hegel scholar. And so this conference is trying to show how Hegel's philosophy is relevant to innovation in all these fields that the world is interested in today. And so my background was in sustainability and ecology, kind of, as an undergraduate, which I only finished for the sake of the service. I left it, actually, before I met Sripad Puri Maharaj. So I saw that one of their sections of their conference was Hegel and ecology, so I submitted a paper that I made for one of our own conferences. Sripad Puri Maharaj started a conference series called Science and Scientists back in 2013. And before COVID, it was going on in India and Nepal, and happened at Rutgers University in 2019. That's the first one that both my mother and I experienced. And then in 2023, organizing the conference was passed on to me. It was online at that point, because once COVID hit, it moved online, and we haven't been in person since. But I used the paper that I presented at our Science and Scientists conference last year for that Hegel conference in September in Rome, and they liked it, and they wanted to hear more about it. And so, yes, the idea is we have a message based on all that work Sripad Puri Maharaj did, and now the objective is to go to as many of these kind of conferences as possible. And at first, it looks like me finding them and applying. Only then, after people hear about it and ideally find the value in it, then maybe they would invite, But so, yeah, then we would go and we tell them not only about how Hegel is relevant, but then, again, Hegel's the bridge, like you said, through Hegel. Well, actually, these things were being talked about thousands of years ago, and it's called the Bhagavad Vedanta, and here's how it's relevant to furthering even what Hegel presented. So that's the whole idea. And I haven't personally presented at one of these bigger conferences about the Bhagavad Vedanta. Smaller ones that are based in India online I've done. But through the Science and Scientists conferences, we've been, by Krishna's arrangement, pretty lucky the last few years, and we've gotten some serious scientists who are themselves already studying how consciousness is permeating the body. Even a single cell they consider has cognition. It makes decisions, it cooperates with other cells, they solve problems that are unexpected. So these are all characteristics that make them admit, okay, cognition is there. It's not just at the level of human, although that might be a more mature, sophisticated level. It's also at a single cell in plants and animals. So scientists who are already thinking in that way and making approaches to cancer research based on that kind of idea, right? We've been able to talk with them at our conferences, and so far we've published proceedings for 2024 and 2023, which proceedings means that we've done a summary of their presentation, and we always have a panel discussion at the end, so the speakers who want to participate can talk with each other about crucial points, and then we kind of give a summary of that in the proceedings, and we publish it online and in paperback. So that's kind of been the model that we've been moving forward with the last couple of years, and we hope that the impact of it increases now, because it's pretty clear how to move forward, although there's still more to unpack from what Maharaj has gathered. But now we're really trying to focus on presenting it as widely as possible and hopefully inspiring the impact, although of course, we can't take action and be attached to the result. Only Krishna can make that happen. But nonetheless, we hope he's pleased with what we're trying to do, and that also the devotees can benefit from it, and like that.
Tulsi Maharani, she is highly qualified. She's very quiet. We're just going to pass the mic over. She has a degree in multimedia. She's all things media and worked in that field and is assisting Krishna Keshava Prabhu and is the only disciple of Shripad Bhakti Madhav Puri Maharaj. He wasn't accepting he wasn't accepting disciples, but only one. Made some exception for her because she's so special and so dedicated. And so share a few words from your heart.
So, as Krishna Keshava's mother, when he decided to go down the path of Krishna consciousness, it was new, and honestly, it was kind of shocking. We didn't know how to work with it or deal with it, but we were open to accepting it because he's free to choose whatever he wants. And as supportive parents, even though this wasn't our plan, idea, thought for the future, we needed to support him in what he believed in. So, and we wanted, it's unconditional love for your children, right? So my husband and I served with Krishna Keshava in the Princeton service for the last 7 years. And we got to know Puri Maharaj very well. He's a very sweet and very intelligent man. And I entrusted my son with him because of who he was and how he preached and how he taught. And also the background he came from was very similar to our background. So I know that wouldn't get lost either. So it was a pleasure, it was an honor to get to know him. And when he wasn't well, I did ask to meet with him to see how we can continue his work, because he worked so hard for so much of his life. I couldn't see it stopping now. And I knew with 7 years with Krishna Keshava living with him, he poured everything he knew and everything he had into him. And he's a good student. And he's been working so hard. He's been taking electronic photographs of all the old notes that he's had to preserve them electronically. We know paper gets old. And he's doing so much going forward. And I was excited when he finished his degree because he was a little lost before he met Puri Maharaj, and he was seeking for something. For most of his life, we called him a seeker. He was looking for the right thing. He was in one thing and another, and then all of a sudden, he meets Puri Maharaj, moves in a few days, tells us Thanksgiving weekend in 2018, I'm just going to stay with him for the weekend. And we knew he was going to the program every week. I'm just going to stay with him for a weekend. 2 days later, I'm coming home to pack my bags. I'm staying. I'm like, okay. 2 months later, I'm getting initiated. I'd like you and Dad to be there. I was like, okay. It's like we were just going with the flow, and he knew what he wanted, and it was resonating with him. And I didn't know how long this would last. After a couple of years, I'm like, this is the longest he's ever stuck with something. And it was 7 years. And now he's working still with Puri Maharaj. We have his belongings in our basement. We have the altar down there because Krishna Keshava had to move back home after Puri Maharaj passed away. And it's an honor to we have his dining room table down there. So it's like we have a room dedicated to him. He's got his old chair he used to sit in with a nice picture of him and his shoes. So I feel his presence in our home every day. And I'm so happy that we are working together. And we are, we're going to be doing a lot of videos to put this out there because we know that's how word will get out further, just like you're doing. You can have the event in person, but it needs to go beyond the people in the room so people can hear it and play it back whenever they want. So we're very much into doing videos. So.
And you also became a devotee and follower and disciple of
Yes.
Madhupuri Maharaj, and a dear member of our Chaitanya Saraswat Math family.
Yes, it was.
How did that happen? How did you convince Puri Maharaj to give you
I
initiation?
didn't. I didn't. I wanted to meet with him to have the discussion when he wasn't well. And he surprised me. He said, "You and your husband have been doing so much devotional work through these years. I would like to invite you." He didn't say initiation. I know what's going on. I know what's happening. He said, "I'd like to invite you. You don't have to be as strict as Krishna Keshava," and he kind of lifted the pressure, because he's living a very strict devotional life. You don't have to be as strict as Krishna Keshava. You can do this in your way, but I'd like to invite you. And I started crying. I was like, it would be my honor. And then he gives me the name Tulsi Maharani. And then Krishna Keshava tells me later that he always sent people who wanted initiation to other Vaishnavas. He never wanted to give initiation. So that was truly an honor that he did that for me. And I'm very, very happy to be associated with all of you. It's been such a beautiful experience coming to India and Thailand and meeting all you beautiful people. And we have the love and support of everyone, and it makes it easier to move forward. Yeah.
How was India? That was your first trip.
Oh, so I have people back home because they think we're on vacation, It's like, and my response to them, it's very, what were the words I was using? It's very spiritual, cultural, and education. Yeah, very nice. Oh, again, beautiful people. Doing the parikram was a challenge. I walked the first day, took a rickshaw back to the temple, and then used a rickshaw the other 3 days just so I could still experience
What
it.
they're there for.
Yeah.
And you went first up Mumbai.
Then
Then you visited, I think you went there to see the Bhaktivedanta Institute office.
Yes. So, and this is very special. So Krishna Keshava planned this whole trip around the places Puri Maharaj was. And he literally had his shoes on. So he literally walked in his shoes at all the places that he was. So it was very, very potent and powerful that he did that. And so he was very happy to see the Bhaktivedanta Institute in Mumbai, and to go. We went to Vrindavan. We went to so many places, and it's again, it's been so wonderful to meet all the devotees and the Vaishnavas that are continuing all this beautiful work. So yeah.
So from Mumbai to Govardhan, Vrindavan, then to Navadvip.
Yes, we spent the most time there. Yes.
And celebrated Shri Gaur Purnima.
Yes.
And Srila Bhakti Prapana Tirtha Maharaj was your gracious host.
Yes.
You got to meet him.
Yes. Our first introduction to him, for me, was at Puri Maharaj's funeral. Krishna Keshava brought him in on Zoom to say a few words about their experience together, because they did live together in the ashram for 5 years. And he spoke for 30 minutes. And I was just so drawn to him, the way he spoke and laughed and just shared their pastimes together. So I was very enlightened about the work that Puri Maharaj did in India. He lived there for 10 years, but he was with Tirtha Maharaj for 5. And it was beautiful to hear the history and all the work that they did. Yeah. And as Chris said, and then Puri Maharaj gave direction to follow him and to be associated with you as well. And I'm very happy about that.
And you guys have a YouTube channel for
Yes.
this tour.
Yes.
What is the handle on that?
Chris?
Awakening Self.
Awakening Self. So YouTube, you just search Awakening Self.
Yes. So we've been vlogging the trip and the people and the temples of everything that we've been doing, so people who are associated with us and people who aren't yet associated with us can see the experience here. Yeah, and hopefully we'll touch their heart.
Kirtan Maharaj's?
Yes, we stayed at his ashram. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, for about 11 days. We were there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And give us some final food for thought. Like, what should we be thinking about and praying for and developing internally and relishing, and how to adjust ourselves with these beautiful concepts in our Krishna conscious line?
I think the most general thing is the importance of education. Right? In the world, there are educational systems and ways to reform them. And we've encountered devotees throughout this trip who are grihastas and trying to navigate what to do with their kids. Should we do public school? Should we do homeschool? Those are all very practical things that devotees and non-devotees deal with. Even people who are non-devotees don't want to do public school. They consider homeschool, but how do you do it? What do you teach them? How do you balance practical material things with higher spiritual things? So that is something that everyone should be concerned with and have just be aware that there are projects within the devotional world that are trying to connect, because honestly we don't have any kind of curriculum or anything like that right now. It's not in a developed form. But the goal is that one day, right, there's a very nice, flexible kind of curriculum that can help meet kids where they are and teenagers and graduate students. Krishna gave us some interests, personal interests, just like heart cells and lung cells are there. But they're for the higher purpose. It's not just for us to relish our own hobbies and interests. It's to develop those interests in Krishna service under the guidance of Guru and the Vaishnavas. So we shouldn't forget or neglect those predispositions that we have, but at the same time we have to cultivate them in a very spiritually healthy way. So I guess I would just want to say that there are projects trying to move forward with this in mind, trying to develop educational systems that are relevant for properly aligned spiritual growth and also materially palatable in the sense that people want to better themselves. That's great. But what does it actually mean in a higher sense? That has to be a part of the education. So that would be my final message. Is that okay?
The truth, the palatable truth. Sundaram, Srila Sridhar Maharaj said. Speak the truth, but speak the truth that is palatable. And he used the word Sundaram.
Because some people will say, well, what if the truth isn't palatable? What if we're very much attached to our comfort zone and the truth is going to take us out of that comfort zone? But there's a way you can do it with, right, the whole mood of Mahaprabhu and why he's so attractive is because, right, Mahavaranaya, right, Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagapate, because of the intense mercy in that mood in Kali Yuga for the people who are most disqualified, having the capacity to get the highest kind of mercy and love of God. So the whole mood is that, yes, the development might be uncomfortable outside of the comfort zone, but it's being presented in such a wonderful and compassionate way due to the nature of Mahaprabhu and his followers. So then the way we should educate the younger generation and ourselves it also has to be connected to that mood of mercy. It can't just be some lightning strike all the time, right? And if that's necessary, sometimes that's also great. Unity and diversity, right? All the diverse ways are unified. But that mood of mercy is so attractive and is there to help us have some palatable adjustment, proper adjustment, and palatable sundaram, as you're saying. So
Srila Sridhar Maharaj.
Srila Sridhar Maharaj said sundaram. So.
Well, so much gratitude and appreciation that you decided to come visit us, first of all. And we hope this is the first of many visits to come. You guys can consider this your home and come anytime you get a chance. And we're always in touch and at your service. And we still have some more days left, but I wanted to share you guys with our viewers. And everyone knows now who they can go to for scientific preaching tips, and they can just send the scientists to you, and you are fully equipped. And we hope this conference in Rome will be recorded. We can watch it. Is someone going to record this? You're going with him, right? Okay. Our multimedia master assisting.
He's very good at multimedia and editing these videos, so...
Yes, it definitely will be recorded, and we'll have as much resources from there available as possible. So.
What's your website also? We have Awakening Self on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's your vlog.
That's the vlog, and any of the personal accounts that I have are under that name, Awakening Self or Awakening Self 108. I think on Instagram is the only one that says Awakening Self 108. But then the Bhaktivedanta Institute of Spiritual Culture and Science, the website is www.bviscs.org. And all the social media accounts, we have Linktree, right? So the Linktree is linktr.ee/Princeton BVISCS. Princeton is PRINCETON. And then I also have the Linktree for Awakening Self, linktr.ee/Awakening AWAKENING Self SELF. And then all the links are attached to there.
Great.
Yeah.
We cannot thank you enough. And we conclude this episode with Hari Harai Nama Krishna. You can see. Oh, we have Ashapurna here. She sang one song, but you're just coming. And so Krishna Keshava Prabhu is here and reachable in so many ways. Tulsi Maharani. And we thank you so much for joining us. Jai Vishnu Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srimad Bhakti Mata Puri Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Vaga ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. 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 Yadavaya Keshavaya Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Govinda Gauranga Radha Govinda Sundar Giridhari Ju Ki Jai, Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai, Shri Rupanuga Guruvaga Ki Jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande. Shri Gurudev. Videographer and director. His specialty is actually directing. And Sanatan Prabhu is sound engineer.
You're here.
Yeah.